Welcome back, everyone. This is your host, Connor Firmender, co-founder and CEO of Fieldr. We appreciate you coming back to Fieldr Academy's podcast. We genuinely hope everything has been well. We hope wherever you're at, as things start reopening and start moving forward, you're starting to get outside more and take advantage of all that. But of course, above all else, being safe and healthy. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing leveraging your resources in 2020. We have a very special guest on today's episode. But before we get into his proper introduction, I just have a few housekeeping items I wanted to go over for everyone. First and foremost, we have failed to kind of express this throughout the beginning of the of our podcast launch, and that is definitely our fault. So what we're going to be doing moving forward is structuring everything from podcast episode 1 that you've listened to we're at 13 now, and we're going to roll out 2 more in what we're calling season 1. So that's what I'm getting at is from the get-go, we failed to let everyone know we're going to be breaking this out by seasons, but that's what I'm here to tell you today is going forward, you're going to see at episode 15, it's going to cut off at season 1. We have a lot of plans of the next phases for Fieldr Academy. Definitely stay tuned for those, but I'm going to keep those in the back pocket right now. So yeah, just look out for episode 14, 15, and that's going to recap season 1, and it'll give everyone a chance to hopefully catch up on any episodes that they have not had the chance to listen to, and just for everyone to get an opportunity to hear the whole season. So that is housekeeping item number 1. Number 2, I am extraordinarily excited to say that my book is now available on Amazon.com. You can go ahead and search The Ever-Evolving Art of Balance, and it will pop right up. Subtitle is Self-Education for a Well-Balanced Life, written by Connor T. Firmender. The paperback is available as well as the Kindle ebook. So I'm super excited about that. As a matter of fact, me and Alex were recording right now. What is it? It is Friday, June 26th, and I just submitted it to Amazon. So the reason I'm saying it's live now is because you're listening to this on July 1st, and I'm going to be all over social media today, blasting a bunch of announcements, different testimonials and everything. So I encourage you all to check out my social media pages. I also have a website coming out today at 12 o'clock. So definitely check that out. It'll be connorfirmender.com, and you'll have all information on me, my background, stuff on Fieldr, and details about the book. So I encourage everyone to check that out. Again, The Ever-Evolving Art of Balance, Self-Education for a Well-Balanced Life. Check it out. I can promise it'll be worth your read. And last but not least, just a quick reminder, we have recently launched Lee County's exclusive Fieldr portal, made available to all 15 high schools here in Lee County School District. For the rest of the summer, our goal is to get a ton of businesses, a lot of employers signed up. So speaking to all employers right now, as things start to open back up and positions are made available again, we do encourage you to head over to leeschools.fieldr.app. It is also at leeschools.net's main page. You'll find our link through their main page. It'll redirect you to, again, Lee County's custom portal where they've licensed our software. And you can start listing any positions. It's going to be great for low pay to no pay opportunities. So, I'm talking internships, I'm talking project-based learning, work-based learning, a lot of those different style engagements that students need just for pure experience and that you'll be able to leverage for low pay to no pay help. So go ahead and check that Lee County portal out. Our link's on our main page, as well as you can just go to leeschools.fieldr.app. So if you couldn't already tell, we're a company who feeds on innovation. We love the ever-evolving ways of the market of the entire world. With everything that's been going on, company or individual, there's so much for you to adapt to, so much new. We want to take this episode to share a handful of key resources that are driving not only our company through this change effectively and putting us in a position for greatest opportunity, but also all of the leaders in our markets. Not just the resources, but the ability to actually leverage them also. We're in 2020, that wasn't obvious, and times have certainly evolved. Processes have been innovated. Normals are no longer normal, and what is quote-unquote industry standard is now written history. To help us shape these new age resources, which we need to leverage, we're lucky to have Alex Allen on with us, the co-founder of 239 Group, president of the SWFL Tech Partnership, as well as board secretary and program director at FusionPointe. Alex has the focus and expertise in customer success and customer experience. His top priority in any role has always been to build a strong culture and trust and camaraderie. I always screw that word up. In Alex's opinion, there is nothing that gives more satisfaction than watching a team member that you have worked with attain the success and grow their career. During Alex's 11 plus years in software, he has worn many hats, often at one time. He has experience driving an organization from a team of 12 to over 100 and growing revenue exponentially year over year. Alex has had the blessing to partner with and lead amazing teams in the areas of technical support, sales, customer success, training development, and product management. Thank you for joining us, Alex. And I got to say, it is an absolute pleasure and honor to have you on our episode today.
Wow. Yes. So thank you very much for that semi-ridiculous introduction. Really appreciate that. Super happy to be here. I mean, been obviously listening to your podcast, and we've been working together for, I guess, over a year now on various different things. And I'm glad I finally made the cut. It took a few weeks here, or a few episodes, but glad I made it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, no, as Alex just said, everyone. Now we've been working together for a long time now, over a year. Pretty much since Fieldr's absolute launch, and I'm pretty sure not short after 239 co-working opened up their spot, right?
Yeah.
So similar time frame, similar stage, but obviously you all are much farther along. But with that said, go ahead and I want you to dig deeper into the beast, the animal that 239 Group is becoming here in Southwest Florida.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I guess for me, before we dig into 239, I mean, my focal point is my passion is getting involved with the Southwest Florida entrepreneurial and technology ecosystem. And so what I kind of like to tell people is that anything that, if there's any opportunity for growth to help, then I'm going to look closely at it. And if I have any capacity, much to my wife and family's dismay, if I have any extra time, any extra capacity to support any organizations, whether nonprofit, a for-profit, whatever it is that follow in that mission, then I am going to do it. So the story behind 239, and we just call it 239 at this point, is, so I moved down to Southwest Florida in 2012 with a company called eMate, short for maintenance, not mate like dating, enterprises. And so I've been with them since 2006, relocated down here in 2012 to open up our satellite office at the time, and just fell in love with the region. And so we grew the business down here and grew the business overall for a number of years. And a lot of how we did that was the talent that's here in Southwest Florida. So in 2016, we were acquired by a company called Fluke, the hardware company. And in 2017, I left and joined another local technology company called Fieldr for about a year. And they were acquired while I was there, so that was fun. And then decided that I wanted to get back involved with what was happening locally. So Fieldr was split between Fort Myers and Atlanta, with a heavy focus on growth in Atlanta. And so that, along with other politics, really drove me to get back with Brian Samuelson, the founder of eMate, and talk about starting a new venture. And so that's where 239 was born out of. Our mission was to give back, right? It was to figure out exactly where the opportunities are down in this region, down in Southwest Florida, and get involved again. So we started out that way, just really not a ton of direction, knowing we have a certain set of skills. I sound like, I don't know, whatever movie that is. Liam Neeson, I'm gonna run out and kill somebody.
Taken,
yeah. So we knew we had the skill set and the experience within SaaS, and with my focus on customer success, started out doing some consulting and things like that. But quickly, what we realized was that the community had a lot of strengths and a lot of opportunity, But there was also not a lot of connective fiber in the community. So a couple key pillars, obviously some big names, with corporations, but there were a lot of smaller technology companies that we didn't even know were here. And there's a lot of meetup groups and nonprofits and things happening, but no real focal point. So as we started to learn about that, we started looking for an office at the same time. And so that's kind of what 239 Work was born out of, was the opportunity to create a co-working space in the region that had a technology focus, that was really in the model of collaboration and involvement with the community within the co-working space and within the technology community. That was something that seemed to be missing in the region. So we launched that in February of 2019. And it really served its purpose. We filled the space pretty quickly with technology-focused entrepreneurs and people that really understood what we were trying to do and embraced the collaboration, even if they weren't necessarily 100% tech-focused. And then through building that network, we were able to get connected with organizations like FusionPointe, the Regional Technology Partnership, and find additional opportunities. So through the co-working space, we found our partner, Aaron Stafford. So he was working out of the space. We had some conversations about his entrepreneurial nature, and he joined the 239 family back in, I think, September of last year. By the end of the year, we had launched 239 Ventures, which is the VC arm that admittedly is not my area of expertise. And then through doing that, we had learned about some additional opportunities. We got more involved with FusionPointe. We've partnered with some people on investments, and now looking to really accelerate FusionPointe with our new efforts into labs. And then, of course, my involvement in the community has grown through FusionPointe, through the partnership, and we're pretty much all over the place, to be quite honest. A lot of irons in the fire, really just very bullish on the opportunity that is here in the region. And we think that with a little bit of collaboration with some key individuals down here and some key organizations, whether they're educational organizations or government, or just other like-minded individuals, that we can really have a strong impact. One thing that I neglected to mention, and then I'll shut up and let you take back over your own show, is that we have a really strong, we are afforded the opportunity to focus on being a responsible partner to the region first because of the exit with eMate. So we are super focused on being involved with the community, giving back, and finding ways that we can help grow things with the mindset. 239 is not a nonprofit, but we are certainly a do good first type of organization, with the full belief that it will, we will reap the rewards in, more on the long game than the short-term immediate focus on month to month.
Everything that Alex just mentioned, we've been very, very fortunate to witness. I mean, even my question alone, the beast that 239 has become, I think it's very fair to say it has become a definite beast. I mean, it's awesome. Between you say, I know you mentioned your new venture capital firm that kind of, launched entering 2020. I saw that when that was being put together. Very exciting about that. Your new labs program rolling out, which we'll get into closer to the end of the episode, the new accelerator. So yeah, I've seen a lot going on with 239, and it's never ceased to impress me. And we've been very fortunate to have been a part in at least the co-working spaces, love going there. For everyone who doesn't know, that's in the community, they're located over by, in the Walden Center, right? Is the name of the building, in the Walden Center.
Yes.
You pull into Pelican Landing.
Sure, Pelican Landing.
I believe it's
Sounds
Pelican
right.
Landing. You go to Pelican Landing, that's the immediate left. Yeah, the immediate left in the Walden Center right there. They're on the third floor.
Right next to the new NCH building.
Right next to the NCA. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So we've been awesome. I mean, Alex mentioned a lot about just the community support that they show and the partnerships that they form. Very strategic partnerships at best, always mutually beneficial. And one of those have been, Fieldr, have been with Fieldr, and so we've been really grateful to have not just attended events and felt as though we've been welcomed, part of the family, but have had a presence, you can say, of the co-working atmosphere. Been able to go there, have our meetings there, our board meetings there. Was invited to speak there. Unfortunately, that got moved to online with COVID. But point I'm making is everything that Alex just preached, they practice. Certainly so. So it's been a lot of fun watching you all scale here in the community. So you mentioned co-working, that which is, in my opinion, or at least from my perspective, probably one of the biggest, if not, what is probably driving the driver behind 239 is the co-working space. It seems to be, it's become the foundation to it all. I laugh every time I think of WeWork. I laugh. I just chuckle every time I think of WeWork. And then Alex cringes, and then I chuckle. Alex cringes. So we're not going to talk about WeWork because I'm not a fan of everything. Yeah. So, but we are going to talk about the benefits of co-working spaces because they are hugely beneficial. I've been reading so many reports that have come out, especially in light of everything being moved to remote work. Is just the amount of overhead. I'm not going to get into too much of the value because Alex is the master here. He's the expert here. But the amount of overhead that could be saved from having to cut down, multiple satellite locations or just your one main office. And if you're in a city and you have multiple decks to that office, like you're up in New York City, you got 2 floors, 3 decks up in there. Being able to minimize that to 1 deck in a co-working space, or altogether 1 co-working space, depending on the size of the company you are, right? But my question for you is, Alex, to tell our listeners, what is the depth of the value, especially nowadays, right? We're talking about 2020 and going forward. What is the depth of value behind locating your business in a co-working space? But then what is also the value of just a co-working space to the community?
Sure. Yeah. So and there's a lot to unpack there because of the current situation, right?
Exactly.
It used to be a much easier answer of, well, this is what we offer and it's great and, growing and everybody's safe and happy and all that. But now with COVID and that impact, it's added some questions. It's given, we've had a few sleepless nights, although, co-working is really not our focus. It's just a vehicle for us to do the other things that we want to do. But yeah, so I mean, co-working, this is the way that if somebody were to come and say, well, why should I be in a co-working space? My answer is generally, well, if that's your question, then you should come here and work here for a couple days. And if you see the value, then you should be here. If you don't see the value, then this is not the right environment for you. And what I mean by that is, if you don't, have any interest in having a relaxed environment, having, coffee, or water cooler conversations that can lead to opportunity as far as additional work, additional customers, collaborations. If you don't like to partner with other local technology companies, if you don't like professional development, if you don't like to talk with people, if you don't like to have a good time, then this is not the right place for you, to be quite honest. And that's real. Like, I'm not saying that as an insult or, as a, well, of course you must like these things. No, I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't social butterflies like yourself, Connor, that would much rather, go to an office, close the door, sit, do their thing, and then, from 8:30 or 9 a.m. and then peace out at 5:30 and go home to their family. And if they don't see a single person during that time, they're good with it. But there are, for as many people like that as there are in the world, there's certainly a lot of Connors in the world that can't help themselves but to network and to grow their sphere of influence and to find opportunities in every conversation. And those are the types of people that I think fit the best within our culture. So our co-working space we do have a lot of open area. We have the conference rooms, we have a training hall, we have quite a few private offices as well. We run a ton of professional development events and have guest speakers in the space. We partner with local meetup groups like the Coder Group, the Southwest Florida Security Group, um, the Tech Partnership, obviously FusionPointe, to provide a lot of content virtually now and in person. Um, and the goal is really to help lift up and provide opportunities for anybody that's a part of our community. And so we've seen a ton of success with some of the technology companies that are in our space. So as an example, we have a real estate based firm that is collaborating with another entrepreneur that's in the same space to a degree, and they are utilizing each other's platforms. We have people that are actually sharing resources. So early stage companies that you're being as lean as possible, and so they are sharing development resources in the same building, which is amazing. So one person splitting time. We have a lot of people so we offer services. We offer services as far as web design, multimedia stuff, graphic design. So we have a number of our own members that are utilizing those resources, and that's what they're asking for. So we listen to our community members regularly. We try to provide anything that they're looking for. And our focus is technology and entrepreneurs. And so to your point on the spend, you can come in here and be up and running with a space to meet your clients and a professional setting for $150 for the month, for as low as, and then of course if you're looking for a private space for the entire month, we offer that. Or you can even come in for a few days. So we offer a variety of different options for you to engage with us and with our community based on what your requirements are. And we have a lot of different people that are taking advantage of that. Obviously, if you go out and you're looking for your office space the first time, and you're going out and leasing, just a, I don't know, 400 square foot office or something like that, something small in an executive suite. There's a lot of nickel and diming that happens with that. There's a lot of additional expense. So is furniture included? Maybe. If not, you need to go out and make those initial purchases. If is network included? Okay. If not, you need to go out and you need to get yourself set up with Comcast or whatever it is. So that's an additional expense. What about coffee, tea, water? What about team engagement, right? So these are all expenses, not only with dollars, but time. And Connor, as firsthand, which is, you're wearing every single hat that there is in your organization. Well, not every, but a lot of them. And so, it's an opportunity cost. If you're spending time running team building events and doing a happy hour, organizing that means that that's a sales opportunity that you're potentially missing. Well, we try to do all of that for you, right? We run happy hours. We have a beer fridge. We run games, not games, competitions would be a better description, for the community here. We have different types of events like that. We have discounts for services and collaboration. So we try to take as much of that off of your plate in co-working, which is what really makes it different from just going out and getting an office at an executive suite. I mean, that's really the culture in the community.
No, you bring up a lot of good points there, and to kind of dovetail that into the benefits I find for not just those who locate their business there, but for the community as well. And that well, first, actually, let me take a step back. Actually, I wholeheartedly agree. You mentioned something towards the end for those companies who want to locate at a co-working space versus that just getting a regular executive office. I see it really beneficial when they have just like a few employees, especially going forward when we have so many people working home nowadays, but maybe there are those few employees that are either itching to get back into an office, because to my surprise, there are those people that are itching to get back into office.
Yeah, we have, I mean, I think that's something that's worth pointing out today. We're almost at the end of June. I know there's still, COVID is still very much on everybody's mind. We've obviously, I think it goes without saying, we've put a lot of effort into making our space safe.
Right.
And you can learn about some of those efforts on our social media and the website. I'm here today, and we have quite a few members in the space, and it's kind of everybody's taking their time, but people are here and people are getting active.
You as the co-working space, you alleviate that pressure for the employer to feel the need. I need to open up my office. I need to get the lights on. I need to get everything running again. I got to get that takes a lot. That takes a lot to really commit to opening back up say you had just your solo rented, your leased office. That takes a lot more than just for the co-working space, in your community, much like 239. They throw the lights on, they take care of all of that, and then you can send a few employees who are itching to get back. Then maybe even if you do have a larger team, the other one's still capable of working virtually, given everything going on right now. We're still going to see a lot of work from home. But again, that smaller group of employees, now here's a much more cost-effective location where you can send those employees. And a lot of times, maybe there are some employees who, at the end of the day, need to be in some environment of that much resource, right? Versus what they have available at home versus what they can have available at a co-working space. There are just some employees in some specific companies that at the end of the day, look, they're not going to be able to be as productive as they could if they had resources at a real office. Well, put them in a co-working space. They're going to be able to save time and cost on that anyway. So it's universally, valuable. But to even build on the value I see it brings to the community, and this is one of my favorite parts about it, is the events. Alex was just he mentioned a couple of things, as Social Butterfly. I love to network, man. I love to network. I think I'm a natural networker. I love meeting people. And here's a little fun fact for you. If you're a B2B company, if you're a B2B business, 90% of your sales are going to come through networking. 90% of B2B companies' sales comes through networking. So it's just simply not, if you're that style, if you're that kind of a company, it's simply not enough to just sit back and pick up the phone and expect that you're going to be able to sustain with just picking up phone call after phone call after email after phone call. You're going to have to get out there. You're going to have to go networking, and you're going to have to meet people. Right now is a little bit different. Go meet them via Zoom. Is what I would say. But when things start opening back up and it's more comfortable for social gatherings and there are networking events, that's where you're going to see a lot of opportunity, is attending those networking events and meeting new people, meeting new clients, meeting new colleagues, new friends, new partners, so on and so forth. There's all of that opportunity, just in my opinion, on a silver platter when it comes to co-working events. There's just such a diverse crowd, such a diverse audience. Yes, you'll have your specific speakers and specific events catered to fill in the blank. But at the end of the day, those who are attending, it's relative to whatever your interest for, it's still going to be a diverse audience for you to find, multiple connections, multiple new people to meet. So that's another huge, just to build on what you're expressing, that's another huge value I see, just for anyone to be able to come and attend those events, free or paid event. And then another thing, and this is going to kind of dovetail me into, I'm going to turn another question back to you, Alex, is I've seen 239 and I've seen co-working spaces become a hub for the general public to get involved. That kind of builds on what I just said. This is kind of like, the preceder was its opportunity. Networking events are the opportunity. Well, following that is it becomes that hub for you to then get involved and for you to actually take action in what you want to do, getting involved with the nonprofit, but not just, meeting the connection, actually now furthering that and actually doing something about it, locating a partnership that you now do something about with your business. So it's become such a hub for people to actually get involved and to find ways to actually get things done, for action to be taken. I know so many partnerships, from sales to gained users to just somebody who was able to connect me with somebody who became a partner. It's just become such a hub for opportunity, and a hub for getting involved with the community. So with that said, Alex, I'm turning this back to you now. We've talked a lot about chambers of commerce throughout our podcasts. We've consistently relayed back to the chambers of commerce. So that'll be an obvious answer to my question. But the question being, which types of organizations, and you can feel free to throw out some specific ones here in the Southwest Florida community. I actually do ask that you do that, but just almost give it a type of label that people who in other communities, maybe just not right here in our Southwest Florida community, know. Okay, well, now they know to possibly locate their closest co-working space or the company who would run it. But what kind of companies should they be looking for? An association, a nonprofit, whatever it be. Who should they be looking for when they're attending these kind of events to I guess pull that value out of it?
So I'm going to just follow on and say chambers.
Yeah, feel free to reiterate that, because that'll always yeah.
So I mean, I think that I'm not sure that there's necessarily a straight up answer to that question, to be honest. I mean, it really depends on what you are looking to do. So what I mean by that is, what a big part of our efforts away from technology is just to get involved and give back to the community. A lot of people that join a co-working space, it's because they are working remotely or they're a satellite team, right? And so what are you missing in that type of environment? Well, you might be missing that opportunity to give back to the community, and you may not, again, just I'm going to keep picking on you this whole time, and you're not a social butterfly like Connor, but you still want to help. So that's one of the things that we do. We try to do things monthly. We've done, Christmas time, we did a toy drive for the local children's hospital. We've done a book drive. We around Thanksgiving, we did a food drive. So we've done stuff for the local animal shelter. So we try to add that type of element. But the reason that I point that out is that it really depends on who you are and what you're looking to do. So we've been lucky enough to host a variety of different events here, and a variety of different local entrepreneurs. And so we have had multiple chambers here presenting in the space about what they do and the type of impact that they have. We have, FusionPointe is a technology and entrepreneurial focused nonprofit mentoring organization. So that is an opportunity for people to get involved, either as, there's no secret, we're in Southwest Florida, we got a lot of retirees down here. So whether you are a retiree and you're looking to, you're not ready to fully retire and you want to get back involved, you've got that itch, but you don't want a full-time commitment with a job, so to speak, that provides that opportunity. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for some help and some guidance, maybe you're new to the region or you're a fresh graduate from FGCU and you want to continue your learning and continue your guidance, or any of the local educational establishments. I shouldn't just limit it to FGCU, FSW, Hodges, whatever it is, then you have that opportunity to then engage with those mentors through FusionPointe, the Regional Technology Partnership. So if you are tech focused, we are closely aligned with the Tech Partnership. Obviously, it's near and dear to my heart as the president of the board. There's lots of opportunity to connect with local people that are involved with the local tech companies, whether they are developers and hyper technical, whether they're in technical support, whether they're in sales, or an executive level. That organization organization covers, really the gamut. And then you have the individual groups that we've mentioned, like the coder group. I mean, those are hyper technical people. They run hyper technical events. They have a great community that communicates, via Slack and all sorts of stuff. And so, our goal, through the various organizations is to provide visibility and to connect those different groups, so that you walk in to 239 and say, hey, I'm interested in what you guys are doing. And the answer, that the response to that is, great. What do you do? What company are you with? Are you local? Are you, a remote team member? And what are you looking to get out of it? Are you looking for space? Cool, we can help you with that. Are you looking to get connected with other people that are in the same type of role? Absolutely, we can get you connected with them. Are you looking for help? Sure, we can help you with that. I mean, we have people here at the space that can, every day, that are happy to get engaged and to talk through issues and to work through that. We have the connections in all these different organizations and mentoring groups, that are here in the office on a regular basis. And will be even more so once we launch that labs initiative that you've mentioned. So yeah, I mean, we have a ton of resources that are here, and that's just to name a few, that you can certainly get involved with. We mentioned the chambers, these individual groups, but Southwest Florida Community Foundation is another example of, they have their a space right up in downtown Fort Myers. We don't see them as competition. We see, the rising tide lifts all ships, or whatever the phrase is that I probably just butchered. We fully believe in that. So, we collaborate with all of these guys. Even Venture X is, probably the most direct comparison in the region, but we collaborate with them, and partner with the founders there on different events and things like that. So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of opportunities here in the region. It's really just based on what your needs are, what your wants are, and we try to take a lot of the legwork out, so that you tell us what you're looking for, and we can, all right, here's 3 options, and then you can take it from there, or we can even do the in-person introductions.
Great answer to a very open-ended question. I worded it that way on purpose. I wanted to see how you'd respond, if you could specify, but I like how you responded to kind of put everyone in their own driver's seat, be self-aware of what you're looking for and better understand what you think is going to get you to that next level, and go search for that. And chances are you're going to find it one way or another, whether that be immediately, directly, indirectly. You have to be connected. Like you even mentioned working with, partners to help connect people around.
Usually I just tell people, okay, here's Connor's phone number. All right, so just call Connor, find out where he's going to be, and just follow him. Just follow his coattails.
I love it. That's perfect, man. No, and you mentioned FusionPointe. We're super, super grateful to be a part of FusionPointe, Fieldr, that is. And so that style, I don't know how many style organizations I can confidently say are in every community or in every other community or so, at least ones that are innovative. But that's the style of organization I encourage you to get introduce yourself to. Speaking to all of our listeners, whether you are some form of a startup, whether you are a seasoned worker and looking to kind of turn that back and offer that value back to a younger entrepreneur, or just a young business looking to get a mentor. Mentorship altogether, I think, is so underappreciated and under recognized. I mean, you hear the word mentor probably get tossed around quite often. One person has a mentor, these people have a mentor, this person's got a mentor.
Yeah.
And I certainly hope that everyone that I do hear it, that expresses they have a mentor, I certainly hope that it's a valuable mentor, right? I definitely want to think that. but I cannot stress enough how valuable it's been to us and how valuable it's been to those that I see who treat their mentorship very formally and not just like, let me give them a call when something might be going bad, or let me, give them a call here and there. Like, when there's real structure behind a mentorship, I see immense value, just undescribable value when there's true structure behind your mentorship. So I guess a long way, a shorter way to get what I'm trying to express is look out in your community and always, try to pinpoint your co-working space, because I'm sure this type of company would be hanging around that co-working space. But look for that mentorship association, that organization, that nonprofit that delivers that kind of value, that will bring you in whatever industry you're doing or whatever you're trying to start or accomplish, will bring you in and will structurally connect you with somebody who can deliver value, who's been there, done that, and experienced it, and can help you navigate mistakes that don't need to be made.
Yeah, there's a ton of organizations that are out there. You have like the Small Business Association and things like that. Usually there's groups that are associated with the local schools and education system. I think FusionPointe is a little bit unique in that it is very focused on
protected startups, right?
Tech, and I think you bring a great point, which is there's a lot of programs out there. You need to find the one that fits for you, and you need to find the right mentor that is going to help you based on the stage of your business and what is most important. You get out of it what you put into it is a huge component to it, but with the asterisk that there has to be a structure, there has to be some sort of follow-up. So we've been involved with FusionPointe since day one of opening the co-working space, but we've really taken more of a leadership role in the last few months. And so some of the things that we're doing is recruiting additional mentors. We're running a fundraising campaign right now so that we can do a lot more for our mentors and bring in external resources and things like that. But we've structured programs dependent on which level, like where you are, what stage you're in as a business. And we formalized some of the cadence, even when you're in the kind of the loose just graduated to just mentoring from the FusionPointe organization, and for a later stage business that has revenue, that has an MVP, formalizing, setting goals, and the requirements for engagement, just to make sure that we do everything that we can to try to shepherd people that haven't gone through mentoring in the past to get the most out of it. The way that we approach it with FusionPointe is that you don't get assigned a mentor forever. You're welcome to stay in touch with that mentor, of course, and there's no cost, no equity taken or anything like that with FusionPointe. So it's really no risk to get involved with the organization. But we assign mentors based on where you are currently and what your issues are. So if you're working on product development, you're going to get assigned somebody that's pretty technical in nature and that has gone through that. If you're that's a software product, right? If you're in the manufacturing space, which we have some organizations that are in manufacturing, then we're going to make sure that you get tied in with somebody that has that experience and supply chain experience. If you're strong, you're an engineer and you're super technical, but you're not Connor and you don't network naturally and you don't have that sales kind of fluency, then we'll connect you with somebody that can provide that and not only help you in the short term and in refining your pitch and all those types of things, but also help you to find the right resource when you're ready to make your first hire in sales, and help vet those opportunities that are out there. So you should definitely vet who it is that you're working with. I think it's just like dating, right? There may be a great mentoring organization that's out there, or a great mentor that's out there, but it's just not a good connection for you. So that's okay. You just need to, find the right person, find the right org.
Yeah, now you bring up a lot of good points. I've even experienced that myself as far as, trying to vet who's the right mentor. Are they an advisor? Are they a mentor? This and that. And so I've kind of gone through that whole process of, trying to figure out.
I think there's a huge opportunity for more people to, especially early stage companies, to take advantage of the mentoring. It's not something that I was super familiar with. I mean, I'm a technical person by nature. And so I'm not super comfortable in the networking environment. I'm not a salesy type person. I don't think anyway. So, up until this endeavor with 239, I really didn't, pop my head up and look around. I was hyper focused on growing the business and making sure that the product was stable and doing all of that. But now that I have exposure to it, I'm like, man, if I had known about this and taken the time for myself and for my professional development early on when I was a young man like yourself, then it really would have been helpful for me to grow, especially because I stayed with the same company for a long time. So I didn't necessarily have the exposure to all the different types of leadership styles and different personalities that you would have if you're, jumping from organization to organization every 1-2 years, like a lot of people do now.
Right. And that I think is a perfect example of why we can't stress enough. Both Alex and I can't stress enough. Title of this episode: Leverage your resources in 2020. Everything else has been written in history. Start leveraging what's innovative. Start leveraging what's new. Start leveraging what's become the new normal. We don't even know what the normal has become. The new normal is evolving every day. So use your resources in 2020 and going forward. So that's all I got to say about that. But you brought up Slack. 10 minutes ago. I don't even know how long ago it was. That doesn't matter. I'm going to kind of take a sidestep now with these next two questions. I'm going to bundle up these questions just to kind of consolidate some time here. Let's speak just to our general audience right now. It doesn't necessarily need to be an employer, doesn't need to be an employee, just our general audience, just as people. We're just talking to them as people right now. Can you offer any suggestions on tech tools that will purely make their lives easier? I'll give you my first two. Trello. I use Trello for project management, personal project management. Again, this doesn't need to be for your business. I'm just talking on a personal level right now. I use Trello. Go to Trello.com, and it helps me organize the different shit I got going on in my life, my different endeavors, my different tasks I got to do, bills that got to be paid. If it doesn't make it on the calendar, you're going to find it in my Trello board. So I encourage everyone to check that out. It'll help manage your life, just make your life easier. And then my number two, and these are by no means my top two, these are just like the first two that came to my mind, is Honey, the browser extension that will save you money when you shop on Amazon.
Are you serious right now?
You've never heard of Honey?
I've heard of it. I've never used it. I'm surprised it comes as number 2 on your top.
Well, they're the only ones that jump to my mind because I'm thinking like that's just something everybody can implement. Everybody, doesn't matter if, again, I don't care if you run a business, I don't care if whatever you do. You can download it and it's a browser extension. And then, I mean, because everybody shops on Amazon. Honey, everybody download Honey. It'll save you. I think.
Are you sponsored by Honey? Is that what's happening right now?
No, but you're making me feel like I'm one of those YouTubers who are sponsored by it. And at the beginning of their videos, they're like, this video is sponsored by blah, blah, blah. You can get, if you text this to 500, you can get 2% off of Honey right now. It takes 2 clicks to install. Dude, I can like hear it in my head right now. I feel
you should be sponsored by Honey.
All
right, can I answer the question now?
Hold on, please? No, the day will come. The day will come. I'm leaving this all. I'm leaving this all in the episode. The day will come when we have sponsors. We will have sponsors for Fieldr Academy. What are your give me a couple? Give the audience a couple of tech tools that are just make their lives easier.
So it's funny. So you mentioned Trello, right? So
yeah,
so we have team members that utilize Trello. It's the best way for us to communicate. So we definitely use Trello. I personally have a little bit of trouble with the structure. I'm like I push back against structure. That's why I don't do well in like a corporate setting. you tell me stay in these two lines. I mean, the first thing I do is I'm like, let me figure out how far I can push this.
Yep.
So, yes, blah, blah, blah. There are a couple of great tools that we use. So I just use Notes, which is funny because I've tried all these fancy tools. I just use Notepad. I live in like in the Apple ecosystem. So they transfer all over the place. My phone, my iPad, my MacBook, whatever it is, they're just everywhere. So that allows me to check, have my to-do list and check that off. Other tools that we use. So we use, I just started using Loom, which I'm a huge proponent of video and having that personal touch, as you mentioned in the opening. Super focused on customer engagement, customer experience. Video is a great way to get people's attention. Loom allows you to record a video, throw it into an email. So, imagine the difference between sending an email to somebody that says, "Hey, congratulations, you're accepted into the FusionPointe program," da 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 da, and then inversely, you send an email that says, "Hey, congratulations," and click on this link, and the link is my beautiful smiling face, right? And I'm like, "Hey, super excited to have you. This is what you can expect. Please let me know if you have any questions, da 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 da." And it's just a much more natural, engaging experience. So, very hype about Loom and those types of tools to get video. I think it works in customer engagement. It works in personal reach out. It works in sales from a sales aspect to separate yourself. So, really suggest that. Another tool that we use a lot, which I know a lot of, and they just got, I believe, a ton of funding to grow, is Canva.
Yeah,
So
they did.
if
It's closed
you
a
know,
big
if
time.
you right, if you are not a hyper technical like graphic artist, you don't know, all the crazy menu options with Illustrator or Photoshop. Canva is a great tool that allows you to do a lot of the things that you need to do to get social posts out there, to get nice slides together for content, to put a cool PDF together. It allows you to do all of that stuff without knowing all the crazy, advanced tools and plugins and everything else like that that you have to do. We're heavy users of Google, always have been. So we use Docs, we use Docs, file sharing, all that type of stuff. We use all of that. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff we use. We use Slack, obviously, from my previous mention. I'm looking at like my browser extensions right now, trying to think.
That's literally what I'm doing right now. I'm like
Anything
trying to
else.
think. I'm like, I wonder what else do I use now personally.
Yeah.
That
So,
is too funny.
I mean, obviously, Zoom, we use HubSpot.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think I use a lot, which, it depends on you as a person and how transparent and how much personality that you put into things. But like I use Bitmojis a lot in my emails, right? Like,
Give a bit of
just to,
personal touch. Yeah.
yeah, give it the personal touch. Like my Bitmoji is, me with a black t-shirt, which usually I'm wearing that black with a backwards hat on, with the thumbs up or the thank you or the, see you soon or whatever it is. I mean, that's what it's about, right? Right. Building your personal brand, building that level of comfort and collaboration with the people that you're working with professionally, that they know who you are, they know what you're about, and how you represent yourself. So yeah, that's another tool that probably wouldn't think of, but I use it a lot, and I think it helps to kind of break down those barriers of, I'm going to write you this like page-long email to answer one question because we're super professional. Like, who has time for that? Like, just get the message out there,
Yeah.
right? And then add that personal touch, and
Yeah.
whether that's a video or just throwing an emoji so that you can start to build that relationship, whatever it is.
No, it's super, super helpful for guys like ourselves and anyone out there who may be a bit enthusiastic, spontaneous, I don't know which one to call it. And it's nice when we have that ability to express that tone of voice instead of feeling as though maybe we're not,
Right.
what we're messaging, what we're emailing is not being captured how we're trying to say it.
Yeah.
Which sometimes can be a huge difference in how it's received.
It's
Huge difference
well,
in how it's received.
especially in this world that we're living in right now, right? Because you are, you're not seeing people face to face. They don't necessarily get to know you. Like I have a list of relationships that I've built over the last 3 months where I have never set foot into a room with this person. And so it helps to communicate that. And to your point, when your emails, your style of communication can get misconstrued. People read into it, and it's dangerous.
Absolutely.
It can break a relationship, and you don't even know why.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another kind of, call them tech tools, call them whatever. They're really just websites, platforms to use. Udemy and Linda. There's a handful of other ones too, but like online courses, like where you can go to find
Yeah.
online courses for anything. Isn't there another new program out that actually blew up and it helps you learn another language?
I mean, there's all
I know
kinds
there's a
of
few of them.
tools
I
out
want to
there.
say, I'm not going to try to look it up right now and wait. I feel like there's something that it was one specific program or company that really blew up in light of everything that's going on in the past few months. But point is that type of stuff, right? The online, teachable courses and stuff. So a lot of them are free. A lot of them are free. $2, $3, $4, $5, $7 sometimes,
Yeah.
it's worth paying
So
that.
quick plug on that topic. So there's two companies that are in local down here in Southwest Florida, two tech organizations. So Unlock Academy is one. So local entrepreneur in Cape Coral. So provides free development training, technical training, boot camp, and then low cost additional courses after that. Another local tech entrepreneur that provides online learning is learnrobotics.org. So Liz from Learn Robotics, yeah, you guys know each other.
Yeah.
So she's just re-platformed. It's an awesome platform that she's using, and she teaches people, or the organization teaches people, not only the hardware side, and she's actually sends you the kit, so you don't have to leave your house. You can social distance, do all the things, but she has the delivery method that you actually get the kit, and then she not only teaches the hardware side, but also the software side of how to program these robotics. And it's a great opportunity, especially for those people that might be furloughed or out of work, for you to learn a new skill and make yourself more attractive to a future company.
Yeah, I agree. No, I definitely agree. We're gonna see. We're already starting to see it somewhat, but we're really gonna see. And I say that kind of metaphorically, not physically see, but those who through this shutdown and seemingly starting to open it back up, who focused on self-development, who focused on what can I do, what can I learn, what new skills can I acquire, what can I do to better myself with all this extra time on my hands. Versus those who are like, oh, sweet, extra time for Netflix, extra time for movies, extra time to just sleep. So it's there's no competition, but you only did yourself the disservice. You're your own competition at the end of the day. So you did yourself a disservice if you haven't been taking advantage of all of that. And we just listed a few different sites that we really encourage you. There's some online courses. I know my friends did this.
So,
My buddies.
wait a minute. Hold on.
Whoa.
I want to jump in here.
Go ahead.
I want to jump in here because I think there's a topic, and I don't know if you've covered it on your podcast in the past, but there's a topic that I think is really important that does need to be covered, which is people should not feel guilty because they are not an entrepreneur or they don't have the unlimited amount of energy that you do.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
This is not a personal dig at all, but I think it's important to me because it's something that I have struggled with personally. So I'm an entrepreneur. I will hustle my butt off. I censored myself, Mr. Connor. I didn't use the dirty language that you use. But yeah, I mean, I hold myself to an extremely high standard, and I personally struggle with the guilt of not working 24 hours a day. And so I compare myself to somebody like, my partners or Gary Vee. Like Gary Vee is on all the time. Like not like crazy from what you see anyway, right? Kevin Hart, on all the time. Oh, you could do it. Go, 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 go. Those people are messed up. Like that is not everybody. And so
You're right.
you should do what you can do. And I think everybody should work hard. Don't get me wrong. You should push yourself to the limit. You should push yourself to grow. But your definition of your limit is different than my definition of my limit. And my definition of my limit now I just had a birthday like 2 days ago. I'm 38 now, I think. Good Lord. My definition of my limit at 38 is tremendously different than my definition of my limit was 10 years ago. Not only for me, I'm getting old and decrepit, my body's falling apart and stuff like that, but also from like my family standpoint. My daughter is 13 years old now, right? Like, I have commitments that I have to keep up. So it's okay. And I think that's something that, mental health, like, hopefully we don't run out of time and we get the chance to talk about labs and what we're doing there. But, I made sure to carve out a period of time in our new labs accelerator in the curriculum to talk about mental health, to talk about stress and what it's like being an entrepreneur, and to make sure people understand what they're getting into, because it is brutal at times. So sorry to cut you off, but I think that's important to say.
Dude, and I wholeheartedly agree. I don't disagree with anything you just said, not even the slightest bit. I talk a lot about that in my book, actually. I mean, it's titled The Art of Balance. I'm by no means am I in the position it's like, oh, go nonstop. I'm with you. I took the Strength Finder thing. My number one trait or whatever strength is achiever. I cannot sleep at night unless I know I achieved at least 5 to 10 tangible things that day. Like I need to succeed every single waking minute.
Right.
And see that. Sometimes I used to think, is my brain just like wired wrong? Am I sick? Like I feel guilty when I'm just sitting down and I'm like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I make progress with? That's just how I think. By no means do I think everyone should think that way. Absolutely not. Self-awareness is the biggest power there is. You know your body's limits, and to your point, especially when it comes down to mental health, you know how far you can push yourself on a mental and physical level. More important,
I think the problem is some people don't.
Some people don't. You're right. Some people don't know how much they push themselves, and that can be viewed as a good thing, as a bad thing. I like to see it as an optimism thing. Is like okay, you can just continuously push your limits, and you just continuously see self growth.
Yeah.
But you can also look at it in a bit more negative ways. Okay, maybe they won't know their limits, and maybe they'll push themselves over the edge. Well, we're not going to think pessimistically, and that's not really what we're even getting into. I just want to, reiterate. Alex made a lot of good points, and I agree with it all. Self-awareness is number one. Always at least do your best to understand, okay, what those limits are in yourself. But what I am definitely getting at is, don't watch that extra episode of Netflix. Go and take that 30-minute course.
I agree.
Right. And I know you would. I know you would. I'm not saying, oh, you get off at 5, go spend the next 7 hours how to start a tech business. No. Hop online, watch some YouTube videos for all I care. YouTube videos can be super educational if you find the right ones. But do that stuff. Be resourceful. Do some market research. Learn something. Build up a new skill. Do some arts and crafts. But really, take advantage and focus on things that will put you in a better position to become a better version of yourself. I personally think life is all about growth, all about development. Because if you're not growing, if you're not moving, like a fish, you're gonna sink. You're just gonna right to the bottom if you're not moving. If you're not kind of just constantly moving and just you see what I'm saying. So I think self-growth.
Like a fish.
Huh? Well, you know how sharks are fish. If they just stop swimming, they just sit there, or maybe fish. No, sharks. It's a shark. I'm trying to say sharks. If they stop swimming, they just sink, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to keep. So I'm not saying everybody's got to be a shark. Maybe that wasn't the best analogy, but I personally think you always got to keep moving. Always keep moving. I'm not saying you got to go 1,000 miles an hour. I'm not saying you got to go 20 miles an hour, man. Go a mile an hour.
We're saying the same thing, but I think it's important. I think that message is lost, right? In the way,
I can see
in that Gary, like these people that you see that are hyper successful, they're hyper successful for a reason.
Right.
And it's because they're Energizer bunnies, and that should be your goal, but you need to balance it.
Curated to your own ability.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not Gary Vee, you're not Gary Vee. She is not Gary Vee. He, she is not me. I'm not. It's like we're all our own people. I think Bill Gates said something one time. He was like, if you compare yourself to anybody, even one person, you're doing yourself a disservice. That's not shade at anybody. That's not throwing shade at anybody. That's just saying there's nobody like you. There's nobody like me. We're all our own selves, and we all have our own limits and our own boundaries and our own skills and natural strengths, and to leverage and utilize those. But it is, at the end of the day, our own responsibilities to discover what those strengths, discover what those limits are, and do our best to continuously develop them. That's our own responsibilities at the end of the day, I think. Again, mile an hour, 10 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, forward is where you should be heading, not backward. You know what I mean? But so with that said, we're probably into a nice hour of this podcast, but that's okay. This has been filled with a lot of fun. So to wrap us up, Alex, take us home, man. Tell me what's going on in the world of Alex and where our listeners can find you.
So first of all, I really feel like I'm on Hot Ones right now. That was awesome. This camera. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but it's awesome. Yeah. And if you haven't, you should. It's on YouTube. It's learning. So there you go. But no. So I actually have notes here because I always forget this stuff. So I'm just going to power through this. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. And like you said, we're way over. So if you want to learn more about us, you can start out at 239 Group. So that's like the big parent organization, 239group.com. If you're interested to learn more specifically about the co-working space, 239work.com. You can give us a call at 239-673-0067. That's 239-673-0067 if you're interested to book a tour or just have any questions. Of course, you can email us at info@239work or info@239group. So those are those two. Next, we will hit on FusionPointe. So FusionPointe is the nonprofit mentoring organization focused on Southwest Florida entrepreneurs with a focus on tech. You can learn more about FusionPointe at FusionPointe.org. That's FusionPointe.org. And if you're interested in becoming a mentor, if you're interested in joining the program as an entrepreneur, we would love to have you apply on that website. We are also in our annual fundraising campaign. So our currently up to $50,000. Your donations will be matched. So if you go to FusionPointe.org and click donate, we would greatly appreciate any of your support. We can't do it without your support. I mean, that's the end of the day. It's a volunteer organization. It's a nonprofit. So we need the support of the community to make that happen. Next is the Regional Technology Partnership. So SWFRTP. So the Regional Technology Partnership is focused on all of the same things that we've talked about today, growing the technology ecosystem down here, connecting all of the dots, providing a unified voice. So the Regional Technology Partnership is running their annual awards. So you can go to swfrtp.org/awards. So these awards are, so normally this is something that we run a big like dinner event. We have guest speakers. It's our biggest event of the year. Unfortunately, we can't do it in person, but we're doing it virtually. So the actual awards themselves will be August 6th from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. We will have an awesome keynote speaker, which is Jeffrey Hazlitt, author of numerous best-selling books, including The Hero Factor, How Great Leaders Transform Organizations and Create Winning Cultures, Think Big, Act Bigger, The Reward of Being Relentless, Running the Gauntlet, and The Mirror Test. He runs his own podcast. He's been director of marketing for companies like Kodak. He's constantly on TV. He was a judge on The Celebrity Apprentice. So he's an epic dude, and he will be presenting during that virtual awards banquet. As for the awards themselves, so there's a number of awards that you can self-nominate for that are focused on technology in the Southwest Florida region. So we have an Innovation Award, we have the Transformation Award, we have Leaders in Technology, the Technology Student Award, and the Startup of the Year Award. Startup of the Year Award is new this year. So hopefully people like Connor will put themselves in the running for that. And then just for this year alone, hopefully, we have the Leader in Adversity of COVID-19 Award, recognizing business professionals in technology that have made a significant impact during this time to help out the community. So you can go to swfrtp.org/awards to click on any of these areas to self-nominate or to nominate somebody that you know. It's a pretty easy nomination form. Happy to support anybody that has any questions that wants to participate in that. And then finally, so bringing it all the way back around to 239 Labs and some of the new stuff that we are doing. We are super excited to announce 239 Labs. So what is 239 Labs? It is a formal accelerator. It's a 12-week accelerator. Our first cohort will be in the second week of September. So if you are a technology-focused entrepreneur, you're starting your business, your early stage, so you have an MVP, limited revenue type of scenario, or you have a great idea, you're working through the MVP, whatever it is, pre-revenue, that's fine. Keep an eye for information coming out with 239 Labs. I think based on the time that we're launching this, or Connor's putting this out there, the Labs website should be out, and information about submitting is going to be available. The other component of Labs is formalizing our support for these nonprofit and meetup groups in the region. So there will be a physical space here in 239 for Labs. All of these nonprofits and meetup groups will be able to meet here, have office hours, and then run events. So the Southwest Florida Coders, Southwest Florida Security Group, Southwest Florida Data Group, FusionPointe, the Tech Partnership have all already committed to being a part of that effort, and really bringing, again, just trying to tie the community together. So that's something that's coming. We're super excited about doing that. You keep eyes out for more information on that. Please follow us on all of our different social media channels. Usually it's either 239, look for TWO39, and it's usually group, work, ventures, labs, whatever it is. FusionPointe, we would love your following there. So FusionPointe, again, with an E, on Instagram, Facebook, all those different things. Same thing with the partnership. So we would love to continue to grow our footprint, grow our network. I mean, it's what we're all about, is just supporting the community and tying everything together. And we need an audience, and we need your support to do that. I think I covered everything.
I will make sure for all of our audience that we get all those links plugged in there for the different ventures.
Good luck. I can hardly remember them all.
Now, hey, if not all of them, I'll make sure I'll do my best to get them all in there, just so people can navigate easily. But with that said, we appreciate everyone sticking along. I think this is definitely our longest one.
Wait a minute. Sorry, I forgot one thing.
Go ahead.
Huge thank you to Connor, Firmender, and Fieldr for doing this and for tying us into the community and everything that you do.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's incredible, the amount of support and the amount of just putting good things out there that you and the Fieldr organization do. It's a great way to lead, and I think that the more people that follow your lead on that and do good first, it's just going to help the community. So you're awesome, Connor.
You're awesome, brother. I appreciate you very much, man. I sincerely do. It was a lot of fun having you on today. This is definitely a well-deserved longest episode. We covered a lot of good stuff here today. Woo. I hope everyone found this just as valuable as I honestly found it as valuable. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Alex, for stopping by. Thank you for being you. Thank you for 239. And I continuously will look forward to our many endeavors we have coming up. But to everyone listening, we appreciate you. You know, this was a long one, so go ahead and give this a re-listen if you need. Find that extra downtime. There's a lot of value in this that I'm sure you could pick and pull. Again, even if you re-listen to it, I'm sure you'll capture some things you missed in the first time. So again, episode 13, we have probably 2 more coming out. Episode 14, 15 coming soon over the next few weeks. Keep an eye on those to kind of, you know, bring an end probably to season 1. You know, keep an eye on what the next phases will be beyond that for Fieldr Academy. But for now, listen to this, listen to our other episodes, re-listen, and just continuously supporting, because without you all, without, you know, just our listeners, our users, our customers, our fans, our supporters, everyone who just supports Fieldr, you know, we feel the love every single day, every single week, and it's the reason we keep on waking up and doing what we do. You know, as Alex mentioned, we like to think that we do good first, and that will always be a priority of ours, is serving the community and doing what we can do to be a bridge, a connection to the community, so everyone can share that mentality of do good first. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy your weeks, enjoy your weekends. Have a phenomenal 4th of July. Hope you enjoy your barbecue if you're going to have a barbecue. Be safe if you do. Be healthy. Social distance if you need to.
Yes, barbecue by yourself, please.
Barbecue by yourself. You got to see it. Barbecue by yourself, right? Yeah, Zoom barbecues. But enjoy the 4th of July, everyone. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your days off. It's well deserved. And above all else, stay opportunistic. So we will see you all on the other side. Bye, everyone.